Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how you can create models in CakePHP and how you can make them available for Bancha in the front end. First, we're going to create new tables inside our database for our new models. So we want to create a model author, which will have 5 fields. The first is called ID. That's very typical for CakePHP and will have 11 digits. Then we'll have a first name and a last name and a birth date, which will be a date field. And we also want to have a photo of the author, which will be a path to a file and can have 64 characters. Okay. So, and the ID field will be author increment and will be our primary key. So now let's save that. And now create a second table, which will be called book. And we'll also have 5 fields. We'll again have an ID field. And we'll have a book title. Publish date, which is again a date field. We'll have a cover, which is also a photo, and we'll have a author, and we will link to the corresponding author. So in this, we will have an author ID field. That's by Cake convention. So Cake automatically recognizes the many books to one author connection. And this will be also an integer of 11 digits. We create that as well. Okay, that's it. And now we're going to use the bake function, which is an easy version to prototype CakePHP applications. And we're going to use that to create our models. If you're getting these errors, the problem is that you have to define inside your config, inside the core, your time zone. So if we're going to use this configuration, it will look nicer. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to scaffold the model. We want to use the default database configuration, and at first we're going to scaffold the author. As display field, we want to use the last name, and we want to provide some validation rules. So our ID field doesn't need any validation rules. Our first name field shouldn't be empty, so we are going to use this rule. And also it should have a minimal length and a maximum length, which is 17 now. Perfect. And next one is the last name, and we want to do the same for the last name. Okay. And as birth date, we want to make sure it's a date. So Bancha guessed that correctly. And we want to make sure that it's not empty. Okay. Our photo doesn't need any special rule, so we're going to say nothing. As association, we can now define that the author has many books. From the database configuration, Cake automatically guessed that, so we just say that's true, and that's it. Okay, perfect. Now let's check everything. Looks good, and bake it. Here we're going to use the default template. Okay, and now we're going to do the same for the book. So we want to bake the book. We want to supply validation rules. Nothing for the ID. The title should just be not empty. The published date should be a date. We don't need any rules for the cover. And the author ID should be numeric. Perfect. And the book belongs to an author. Okay, that's it. Okay, when we now go inside our project, we find inside the model folder that CakePHP now created two models, author and book. Since we want that both of these models are remotely available for Bancha, we're going to open them and add a new behavior. So here we're just going to define that the model should act as Bancha remotable. Okay. And we want to do that both for the author and the book. Okay. And now we're going to bake our controller. So with the same bake function, we can create controllers. And so we want the bake controller for authors. We want to do it interactively. And here it's important that we want to scaffold some basic methods. It's all by default. And here now it's important that we're using the Bancha template for baking controllers. This will automatically enable full CRUD support for all the Bancha models which are remotely available. Okay, perfect. And let's do the same for the books. Okay, that's it. Now, when we go inside the controllers in our project, we have two new controllers. And if you check it out, you can see that it's a bunch of specific code added to the project. And that's perfect. This was a quite dry tutorial, but in the next tutorial we're going to see what we can actually do with them and make some visual cool stuff.